everybody, and welcome to Wednesday. I thought I'd do a little bit of a reading vlog, but I didn't want to really come on here and talk about things until I've actually finished some books, so now I'll come on here. Yeah, so it's Wednesday. I actually finished these two yesterday, but it was really late at night, and so I just decided to wait till today to talk about them. But I am excited that I actually got these two books finished, so now I can kind of concentrate on my big book that that I have been working on all month. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Burn for Me by Iona Andrews, and this one is the first book in the Hidden Legacy series. I buddy read this with my friend Barb. We both really enjoyed it, so now we have another book to put, or series to put on our rotation of series that we've been working on. I got this one for Christmas from one of my Secret Santas, and I'm so excited. And this one works for the New Beginnings readathon that I've been working on, so that was good. And it is about a magic system, and yeah, I probably won't be able to explain very well, but anyway, it's about Rogan and Nevada, and it's an urban fantasy, and they're living in a time where the higher up you have magic, like the richer you are, like magic is like a really big thing, and the more magic you have, the stronger the ability you have, the richer kind of you are, and they're separated into houses, and the ones that have like the most like magic, they're called primes, and Rogan is a prime, and he's a very like kind of volatile like prime. People are afraid of him. They call him Mad Rogan, and he kind of keeps to himself. He went through the army. The army pretty much used him as like a military weapon because of the stuff that he can do. And so yeah, he just kind of keeps to himself. But at the beginning, he gets contacted by some of his family, and they want, because one of the younger guys in his family got in trouble because he was hanging with Adam Pierce, who is from another big family, the House Pierce, and he has the ability, Adam does, to like burn everything down. Like he could just he doesn't seem to care. He'll just disintegrate you if he doesn't like you. So yeah, and he blew up a building, burned up a building, and this other kid was with him, and they killed a policeman. So the police are after him, and he has been asked to try to find, and I can't remember the Gavin Waller, I think, or something like that, is his like cousin, I believe. So he's been trying to look into that, and Nevada, she works for a like private detective type of agency. She uses her magic for that, and they find people and things like that. And she has her company, since her father died, has been taken over kind of by House Montgomery, and they let them go ahead and keep their name and everything, but they have, if Montgomerys want them to do something, they have to. And so pretty much because they're kind of low on the totem pole, Nevada has to try to find this Adam Pierce guy and everything. And so eventually this leads her to meeting Mad Rogan, and at first they don't get along very well, but then they start getting along a little bit better. But she doesn't trust him because, like, I mean, it doesn't bother him to just kill somebody, and she has a problem with that. But the sexual tension between the two of them is like off the charts, and I have decided that this writing duo really likes to write very alpha, very brooding alpha, like magical, like they're really, you know, tough and everything, guys, and she likes to also write women who can crush them, kind of, because that's the thing. I really liked the Kate Daniel series from this writing duo, and yeah, Mad Rogan reminds me a lot of Curran from from that series, and Nevada reminds me a lot of Kate Daniels and stuff. So I think they like to, but it works. It works for me. I really like this couple, and it didn't take long to really start to like Mad Rogan, even though he's a little bit egotistical and arrogant. I just want to see Nevada take him down. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I give it 5 stars. I really, really liked it. Then, like, total opposite of Burn for me, I've got Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, which is a middle grade book. It's a middle grade fantasy. And this one is about Sophie, who she was living in the human world, and one day Finn comes and tells her pretty much that she's not human and takes her to his world. And she finds out a lot of stuff about herself. She could always hear people's thoughts and things. And it happened after she had had an accident when she was 5. And she finds out that, you know, there is a reason for that. And she's a little bit special in the world where she comes from. They are elves. And you find that out pretty quick. So, I mean, it's not like really a spoiler, I don't think. And she has to learn to kind of survive there. They told her that she can't go back to the human world, so she has to live here. And the human world is called the Forbidden Cities because elves are not supposed to go there. And she has some very special abilities that makes her seem a little bit perfect at a lot of stuff. But I don't think she's really that perfect. She is with her abilities, but you find out later on there's a reason for that. And because of that, I think I can let it go a little bit that this girl finds out that she's, you know, got all this stuff and she's like very good at all this things. I can kind of let it slide a little bit, I think, because it's not like she chose it, and she can't help it if she's nobody can read her mind, and she can telepath like really long distances, and she's got all these things. There's a lot of things that she's not good at. She has to go to the school, and the council, one of the guys on the council didn't want her there, but the other one said that they would let her go to Foxfire School and give her, like, she had, I think, like a 6 months probation to see how things go. Because the Foxfire is where kind of like the nobility go. Like, you find out what you are there, and if you farther up you go, you might be in like the nobility of their world. And since she's got really good talents, they wanted her to go there, but she has to pass all her classes, and she's not very good at like alchemy and elementalism and things like. I mean, she's not good at everything. So I think it's okay to kind of give a pass to the fact that she's very good with the whole telepathy thing and stuff like that. But yeah, so she is trying to figure out what, you know, why she is like she is. Why was she living with the humans? There's her human family that she's worried about back home, and there's these fires, and it seems to have something to do with her, and like somebody's pushing her to try to find some things, and some of the grown-ups that are around her don't want her to be doing things on her own. And yeah, she gets into a few adventures and things like that. And it ended okay, you know, not like on like a huge cliffhanger, but at the same time you're kind of excited to see what happens next. I'm buddy reading this one also with my friend Sherry, so I can't wait for us to get to the next one. And so yeah, these are really big too, because like this was 496 pages, and I think the next one is even bigger, so it's like, my goodness. But yeah, there's, I think, 10 books in this series so far. A couple of them haven't exactly come out yet, but I know when I looked, there were going to be 10 books in this series, so at least for now. It's quite a big series for middle grade, so we'll see how it goes. And hopefully they're not all like 500 pages. But yeah, 5 stars. I really liked it. It was just a lot of fun. So, books that I'm still currently working on: The Count of Monte Cristo. But I am getting there. I have like 12 hours left to listen. I'm like 72% into it, I believe. I'm on like, I think, chapter 78 or 79. I'm getting there. But I don't think I'm enjoying this quite as much as everybody else did that buddy read it with me, but that's okay. But I do want to continue on to see if all this stuff that I am reading right now, like, is going to, like, come to an end, like, wrap up or whatever, I guess. So, we'll see. I am still reading 1776 by David Mccullough, and I did read a little bit on it yesterday. I'm listening to this one and following along, and I am on page... Where am I on? I forgot where I'm at. Oh, I think I'm over here. I'm on page 88, so still got quite a bit to go. Got a little bit done. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's just a history book about the Revolutionary War, so I mean, I don't think I can get super excited about what I'm learning, but I do think it's interesting. I have learned some things about George Washington that I thought was interesting, because he did not like disorder, and he is kind of like a real orderly kind of person. So it kind of reminds me of, like, maybe he had like OCD back then or whatever. He likes things to be so. Even though he was, you know, very American, at the same time he was very English, because I mean, you know, all the new Americans, they were from, you know, Great Britain, so they were very English. They were from England, and he still liked to dress like the English. He liked to present himself a lot like the English, even though he was fighting against the English. But I mean, that's just where he come and how he liked to dress, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And so yeah, I've learned some things and everything, but I'm just kind of coasting through it, and hopefully I can get it done before the end of the month. We'll see. Then I started The Appeal by Janice Howlett. I think that's how you say her name. And I'm not really quite sure how I'm going to feel about this. I guess I didn't read, like, the back like I should have, maybe. But it seems like it's a murder mystery that we have to try to figure out. Like, they want the readers to figure it out through all these, like, emails and text messages and things like that. So I'm not quite sure if that's my cup of tea or not. But yeah, it says, can you uncover the truth? And so I'm like only 4% into it, but basically it's been a lot of emails and stuff. And when I read the back again, I know it said something about a murder. And there was somebody that went to jail for the murder, but they think that that person that went to jail was innocent. And I believe there's a couple, like, lawyers or somebody, because the text messages, I believe, are from a law firm, and they've been given all these emails and all this stuff, and they're going through them and trying to figure out things. And it's about a group that were, like, actors. They were in a play. And so I'm guessing somebody there has been murdered. I haven't gotten to that yet or anything. Basically, it's been emails back and forth about auditions for this one play, and hoping that they'll put these new people that this one lady knows. Izzy knows these two new people that have come to town, and she wants them to be in the play. And basically, it's just been emails back and forth and all that. And then a couple of times there's been some text messages about, are you still reading all these emails? Have you made any heads or tails of any of this stuff? And so I'm guessing we're supposed to go along with that and try to see if we can catch, because there should be something in these emails that is supposed to tell us who the killer is, I think. And I mean, I like that idea, but I'm not sure if I like that idea. So we'll see how it goes. See if I can figure out who the killer is. And that's pretty much what I am reading right now. I'm going to concentrate a lot on the Count of Monte Cristo because I do want to get that one finished, because that's a lot of page count for the New Beginnings readathon. So I want to be able to add that to our team. And I probably won't be reading a big, chunky classic in a month again like this. I would rather take my time with it instead of trying to hurry up through it. But I did think, I could at least try it this one time. And I've been doing fairly well. It's just not as interesting as I was hoping it was going to be. Not enough action for me. I thought, with the whole revenge plot and stuff would be a little bit more interesting, but it's not. But we'll see. And anyway, I will come back on whenever I have either finished something or have read enough of something to update with. So, hello everybody, it's Friday. I haven't finished anything else besides the 2 that I've mentioned already. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's because I'm trying to get through The Beast, and I still have 5 hours left. So I'm getting there. My goal is to have it done by the end of January, and so I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm going to listen to more of it today and hopefully get a decent chunk out of it, and then I can listen to some tomorrow. And I still have till Monday, so I can do it. I can do it. But yeah, I just don't think I'm quite liking it as much as everybody else, but that's okay, Not everybody's going to like all the classics, but at least I can say I read it. Still working on 1776. And I am 115 pages into it, so I have made a little bit more progress. And I'm hoping to get it done by Monday too. So we'll have to see how it goes. I don't know. And I'm working on The Appeal by Janice Hallett, and I'm just not quite sure about it. A part of me wants to try to finish it so I can see who done it, and the other part of me doesn't really care. So I'm kind of at this impasse of, do I DNF it, or do I just keep going and see what happens? The only problem is I won't have time for this in February. I've got too many other things to do. So if I don't get finished with it by Monday, it's going to have to wait until March. So, because I won't have time. So, do I want to just hold off on it? And maybe I'll be more interested in it in March. I don't know. But here's the thing. It's told in a bunch of emails, text messages, things like that. And it's about 2 lawyers. They're young lawyers that have been given this case. And we don't know anything about the case. We just know that they've been given these 4,000 emails and all this stuff to look through. So they have to sift through all this stuff. So you're going along the ride with them, and you're looking through all these emails just like they are looking through them. And every now and then you'll get text messages back and forth from the 2 lawyers and what they have thought about the emails that they have read and everything, and what they're making out of the case, who they think are some of the major players, and things like that. But the emails are boring. It's just about this group of people, and there's a lot of characters. And it's about this group that they're a drama group called the Fairway Players, and the director Martin, his granddaughter Poppy has cancer. She's 2 years old. They are making this appeal to fundraise. They have a crowdfund type of thing, and they are trying to fundraise and make this money. Some of the players have gotten involved. Sarah Jane is like one of the main ones. She coordinated a gala type thing for them to raise money. And they raised a lot of money, but not enough because they need like $350,000 for this drug that's not actually legal because it's still in the experimental stage. But if they buy it directly from the people who are making it, then they can do it. But they have to wait till the trials are over, and that could be too late. And so they have to raise the $350,000. But you're reading through these emails, and it's day-to-day stuff about certain people that are part of the players. And you know that one girl, Isabel, is very stalkerish and delusional, and you're like, there's something wrong with this girl. And you feel bad because she's like stalking like this other girl, Sam. But she like seems to think that Sam's like her best friend, but I don't think Sam likes her that much. But through the emails, it seems like it. And she gets mad when she goes out with somebody else and not her. And that's why I said she's a little obsessed, a little delusional about some things, and stalkery. And so I'm not quite sure about her. Then the farther you get into it, you're also not sure if somebody is committing fraud with this appeal. Is Poppy really got cancer? Or are they trying to get money off people saying that she has cancer? Or is the doctor trying to take the money? Because the doctor puts it in like an offshore account, and so that's a little hinky. I'm not quite sure. So you just have to kind of go through all these emails and try to see how it plays out. But 34% in, I have absolutely no idea who got murdered. So I think to me that makes it harder because I'm like, I could maybe try to figure out who done it if I knew who got murdered. But nobody's been murdered yet. Or, I mean, at least we don't know. I mean, the lawyers know who got murdered because evidently somebody went to prison for it, but they think that that person is innocent, and so they have been told to go through all these emails and try to figure out who they think is the real person who done it. The concept is interesting. The story is boring. I thought maybe by 34% we would get a little bit more interesting, but yeah, to me, some people will enjoy it. I mean, it's got a really good rating on Goodreads, so I think some people will enjoy it. Just not me. And there's so many characters like to try to remember and who did what. So I do think this is probably a good book for like in print. Although I wish I had an audiobook because I do like to read these kind of books on audiobook since they're like text messages and emails and things like that. It's just more fun. But yeah, I don't know. The jury is still out. Guess you will find out later if I decide to stay with it or not. But yeah, haven't read anything else. Oh, also I got some book mail, so I thought I would show it to you. I got this from Simon & Schuster to review. It comes out in April. It's called Gone Dark by Amanda Panetti. I have no idea how you say that. It's a little bit of a chunky one. It, I believe, is a young adult kind of thriller. The cover is really kind of spooky. It says, when 17-year-old Zara escaped her father's backwoods survivalist compound 5 years ago, she traded crossbows and skinning hides for electricity and video games, and tried to forget the tragedy that drove her away. Until a malware attack on the United States electrical grid cuts off the entire country's power. In the wake of the disaster and the chaos that ensues, Zara is forced to call upon the skills she thought she'd never use again, and her best bet to survive is to go back to the home she left behind. Drawing on the resilience she didn't know she had, Zara leads a growing group of friends on an epic journey across a crumbling country back to her father's compound, where the only hope for salvation lies. But with every step she takes, Zara wonders if she truly has what it takes to face her father and the secrets of her past, or if she'd be better off hiding in the dark. So, sounds kind of interesting. We'll see. Anyway, that's all I have to talk about, so see you later. Hello everybody, it's Sunday night. I've decided to go ahead and expand the vlog until Monday, since that's the last day of the month anyway, and it's going to be kind of, I think, a short vlog anyway, because I really didn't post a whole lot on here, but that's just because I didn't read a whole lot, so, but I did accomplish some things. So I did it. I finally finished the Count of Monte Cristo. I finished it last night. I just didn't feel like getting set up here to talk about it. But yeah, so I finished it. It was like, I listened to the audiobook, which was bigger than this actually. It was the one that was like, I think it was 46 hours and something, maybe, somewhere around there. And so, yeah, it had probably more towards the, excuse me, probably more towards the 1,200 page mark that the big book is. This one is, it doesn't say that it's abridged, but I know it is kind of, because it's only like 600 and some pages. So I think I would have liked this better if I would have read a more condensed version. I should have looked maybe for a more condensed version of the audiobook. But I wanted to give it the whole, because I knew it was a big book, so I did that. And I can say that there were parts of this that I liked, and then there were parts of it that I didn't like. I'm giving it a 3.5, I think. I get the message. I think that what Alexander Dumas was trying to say and everything, I just think he was a little too wordy. There was just a lot in there that I just didn't think had to be in there, which is why I think it can be condensed into something like this and still be readable. I felt bad for. I did feel bad for Edmund. I mean, he pretty much got framed and had to spend, I think it was like 14 years he was imprisoned. And while he was there, he learned a lot of things, and he befriended an old man that was in the prison, and that's where he learns about the jewels that he ends up getting when he gets out, because he escapes. And I thought he was very clever for how he escapes and everything. And that stuff was really interesting. Then the political part that was in there, I wasn't really a big fan of, and I got confused about the whole Napoleon and all that kind of stuff. The Bonapartist, that stuff was a little confusing. And then whenever he starts like setting things up, it takes forever, because I mean, he's a very patient man, I will give him that, and it takes him forever to set up all this stuff so that the last part, when it all kind of comes together, and it's like, oh my goodness, can we just get to the point to where's the revenge part? I'm waiting for the revenge part. And I don't know, I thought it might have been have a little bit more action in it. But no, it was this really slow, drawn out plan that Edmund had to take down the 3 people or whatever that caused him so much and everything. And I do think that towards the end, you could see there was some parts of Edmund who regretted some of the things that he did on his path of revenge and everything. But all in all, I mean, he really didn't have to do a whole lot to the people, because they were bad people to begin with. And so he just needed to nudge them a little bit to make them reveal themselves as being bad and do other bad things and stuff. But yeah, so it, like I said, it was okay, and I'm glad I read it, so now I can say that I have read it, and I can knock one off of the classics list because I finally got this one done. And so yeah, moving on to the next classic. I know I won't be getting to one in February, but I'm going to try to get to one in March, I think. And I also finished The Appeal by Janice Hallett, and I have mixed feelings about this book because there are parts of it that I liked, and then there's parts of it that I didn't like. And it's 432 pages or 35 pages or something like that. And I think it was about 30 some pages too long, and I was just really wanting to get through it. It's set up with a bunch of emails and text messages and things, and then you get correspondence from the lawyers and things like that. And so at the beginning, you know that this guy named Robert, I think it was Robert Taylor or Richard, somebody, or Tanner, no, Robert Tanner, maybe. Anyway, he's a lawyer. And he has two young trainees, and he gives them this case because they're getting ready for an appeal, because there is somebody who has been imprisoned for this murder, and he just really doesn't think that this person is the one that done it. And he needs some fresh eyes, so he's going to send them like 4,000 emails and things like that for them to look through. And so that's what you're doing. You're looking through all that and everything. And then every now and then you get correspondence in text messages from the two lawyers trying to figure things out and how they're putting it. And then they write it up. They think it's this, they think it's that, and then this, and they're going through it and going through it. The first part of this, to me, probably like the first 55% or so, I was just so bored. And I think I talked about it before, how I was really at the point of just putting it down. I'm glad I didn't put it down, because I did find it a little bit interesting more towards the end, when everything, the emails start to make more sense, like the juicy bits start coming in. You know, the first part, you're just learning about all these characters, from the fairway players and the doctors and all these things, that you're just figuring all this stuff, and it's just mundane everyday stuff. And then you start to get to the more juicier kind of emails about, then you start thinking, oh, I think this stuff is happening. Oh, I think there's some fraud going on here. Or, man, this girl is really delusional, and she could probably, and then you're trying to figure out, well, who's the person that died? Because they don't tell you who the victim is. So you have to try to figure that out. Then you get to a certain point where the lawyer talks to the other two and tells them, okay, now we know that between this time and this time is when this person died. Okay, and so now you're going to get these other correspondence and stuff, and I need you to put this and this and this together, and you get some more stuff. So then we get more emails and things that start to put things together a little bit more and things. So the author's manipulating things, but you don't get like the correspondence like as all of them together. Like you don't get to follow like the timeline, because it's like they've kept some out and then they give them to you later. And so then now you're trying to figure out if this person, who you think the person is in jail, because at that point they don't even tell you who the person is in jail. You have to try to figure that out. And then you're trying to figure out who you think should be there instead, and why, and who knew about it, and who might have helped, and who, all these kind of things. And that was interesting. And the way this was done was very interesting. I will give that the author credit for that. But towards the end, like the last 20%, it just felt so repetitive, because the two lawyer assistants are trying to figure things out, and you're going, well, if this person did this, then this and this, and then maybe this person did this, but what about this, and this person did this and this, and then the lawyer says, no, you're not looking at things this way. So then okay, well, what if we put this person here and does this and this and this, and you're pretty much going through the same information over and over and over again, but in different scenarios, and then they're putting all these little tidbits in and stuff like that. I figured out who the real killer was a little bit before they had figured it out, but I didn't know all the ins and outs and whys. I just, with the emails and who was doing what and where and when, it just made sense that it was this one person. And so I was happy that at least I figured that out and everything. And so yeah, I thought it was interesting, but at the same time, I was a little bit bored. I was bored with the beginning, and I was kind of bored towards the end, because I just wanted to find out who it was. And then even after that, then you find out some other things, and there's some emails and things at the end that don't make sense to me. So I'm not really sure what they were supposed to be for. They didn't make any sense to me, so I don't know. So anyway, so I think I'm going to give this 3.5 stars as well. And I think I'm giving it like the 0.5 because I do think it was really interesting. I almost gave it 3, but I don't think it's quite a 4, because like I was bored at the beginning, and then the ending I felt was dragged out. And also, one other thing, I think it would have made more sense if it was done more in text messages and a few emails than it was emails and a few text messages. Because in this day and age, because it's set in 2018, do you email your friends? Do you email them several times a day? Or do you text them several times a day? Do you text the people that you work with? Or do you email them all the time? I mean, no, you text them, you know, these people that were at the play, that these play actors and stuff and all, you would think they would just text each other. They wouldn't email each other. I mean, there were some really short emails like that you would text. I could see emailing the really long emails that was in here, but like the little short ones, I would have thought, hey, I'm waiting here for you. Are you going to be coming here pretty soon? That sounds more like a text than an email. And so I thought that was kind of weirdly done. I don't know why she chose to have it all in emails, because, I mean, really, realistically, we don't email each other, we text. So, I don't know. But, so yeah, so I'm giving it 3.5 stars, that's what I said. And yeah, I've kind of rambled on enough, I think, about this. I do think it's worth reading if you like kind of a mystery thriller, a whodunit, especially the way it is. If you're one of those that really likes to try to figure out what's going on and whodunit, and I do think it's probably one that you might want a pencil and paper with, because there's a lot of characters, and if you want to take your time with it and try to really figure it out and decipher it and write notes and stuff, I think it could be fun for people who might want to do that. So yeah, I'm not writing it off or anything. I did think it was okay, just not great. I am still working on this, and I have some more tonight, because it's only 8 o'clock, so I'm going to start listening to this when I get off of here, and I am over the halfway mark. It doesn't look like it, but this book has like a million source notes and bibliographies and acknowledgement and all that stuff. Okay, this here is just all source notes and bibliographies and stuff like that. That's all this is. So it ends here. So I am a little over halfway through. So I think I can do it if I can listen to some more of it tonight. And then I have tomorrow. I think I can get this one finished. And this will be the last book for January. Because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to fit anything else in. And then I'm going to cut it off. That way I don't have anything rolling over to February. Because we all know February is going to be busy. So, yeah. Wish me luck. Hello, everybody. It is Monday. It's the last day of January. And I finished 1776 by David Mccullough. It was the last book that I needed to finish, so I am super glad that I managed to get it finished. Now, as for a rating, I'm just not sure. I'm thinking my own personal rating will probably be 3.5 stars, but on Goodreads, I'll probably give it 4 stars. I have to take into consideration, I don't read nonfiction, and I don't read things like this about Revolutionary War and stuff like that. It's not probably my favorite thing of a nonfiction to read, but I was curious about it and I wanted to give it a try. I think one of my things that I didn't like was that it was read by the author. I think if this would have been given like a really good voice actor who could have maybe put a little bit more emphasis in certain things, and I think they could have made it, a little bit more interesting than feeling like he's reading his notes that he written out or something like that. So I do think that was kind of like a con, I guess, about it. But I did enjoy parts of it. I did learn things, okay? I learned a lot of stuff about George Washington that I didn't know. I found it kind of fascinating that, these people, a lot of them, they weren't military men. It's not like today's military. A lot of these guys that fought, they were just farmers and things. They, didn't know anything about fighting, and they just wanted freedom, and they wanted to do what they thought was right. And a lot of them, deserted. It's not like today whenever you would get like in super big trouble for that. A lot of them are like, you know what? I gave this a good try, but I have a family back home and I have a farm to take care of, and I'm just going to head on back home. See ya. Wouldn't really happen in today's world. So, yeah. The conditions that they had to fight in, I mean, up in New England where it gets super cold and the snow and all that stuff, and they didn't have like proper clothing, and they didn't have like a lot of good shelter and things like that. They were running out of food supply. They had a lot of, trials and tribulations to get through, but in the end, they pulled through and they won the war. And but yeah, I thought that was, pretty interesting to learn about, although it still bored me a bit. So I mean, that's why I say, so I think for like me personally, it's like more like a 3.5, but I can tell that the author put a lot of work into it and everything, and that he's very knowledgeable. So yeah, 4 stars probably. So that wraps up January with my weekly reading vlog here. It's probably not very interesting. I went to the library and I went to the library and I checked out some books that I could check out for February that were on my list, and then I bought a couple of books, and then we went to this place called Antiquish, and I bought some books there. I'm going to do a little book haul later. And yeah, like always, I forgot to film any of it. So yeah. That's why I'm not very good at these vlogs, because I forget to film. So this is more like a vlog style wrap up, I guess, because it's not gonna have a lot of fun and interesting content. But yeah, so I'm super glad though. I read 4 books this week, I believe. Yeah, and 2 of them were big accomplishments to get finished. And I mean, I was pushing towards the end, but 2 of them, like, I gave 5 stars to. So I mean, overall, it was a really good reading week. I had Keeper of the Lost City, Burn for Me, then this one, and this one. So yeah, the chunky one. So overall, I had a pretty decent week. And so I hope you enjoyed this for what it was. I'm sure maybe they'll get better in the future. We'll see. I'm just not super good at this, but I give it my best. And so I hope you found it at least a little bit interesting. So I hope you at least enjoyed this for what it was. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.